Okay, folks, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing, quote, MuTex being caught 100% cheating, and in general, all of the Call of Duty scene are kind of up in arms at the moment about who is cheating, who is not. I've actually got some interesting takes on this, and maybe I can enlighten a few people and maybe lift a few clouds over a few people. Who knows? I just want to explain myself and get into the clips. So, who are these people? The long and short of it is, a few big streamers, Dr. Disrespect, have been killed by, say, MuTex, and have the question, how does this guy know where I am? There are other pro players that are beginning to ask the question, in a game so random, in a game so hectic as a battle royale like Warzone, how are these people keeping track of everybody with perfect callouts? They're attacking the right room without pre-checking anything. How are they consistently so good? Again, these are pros, these are big content creators that play the game a lot, that have decent game sense and know what they're talking about. Now, myself, I am a noob to COD. I am a self-confessed noob. I mainly focus on strategy games and third-person games. I play a lot of shooting games, but not much COD. I recently began to play Call of Duty, and on my channel, if we pull it up, we found 30 guaranteed cheaters, frankly. And that's what sparked this sort of me discovering the Bad Boy Beaming channel. So I recorded some people that were definitely cheating, like Snap2, aiming through walls, wall hacks, the obvious stuff, right? This isn't what Bad Boy Beaming and other people are talking about. Obviously, if a pro player was snapping to everybody and looking through walls, it would be case closed, throw the book at him. He's obviously cheating. The question is of one or two things. The question is, do they have walls and some sort of recoil control that they are able to hide from viewers? And are they using basically a hardware device called a Cronus? Now, a Cronus is a device that plugs into your computer and your controller, and you can load up scripts onto this if you wanted to. Now, it does have other uses, which we'll talk about, but this can be plugged into your computer and your controller, and you can load up basically cheating software onto it. Okay, so let's just get into the clips, and now you can begin to see what I've got. So originally, the big hot topic is around ZLaner and MuTex, okay? We'll discuss them both kind of in tandem. So he goes on to discuss that here we say that MuTex is kind of been called out for cheating. He's been called out for cheating. Does he use some cheating software? Does he use a Cronus Max? We're not sure. When he goes and he plays the clip, what happens is MuTex kind of accidentally reveals his desktop for a split second. This is his streaming PC. Okay, so not the gaming PC which he plays games on, the streaming PC. Okay, and you will notice here that there is a logo with a Cronus Pro logo, and this is a known cheating device. And that obviously sparked Bad Boy Beaming to go into overdrive mode. And he has called out people that are actually cheating in the past. And it is a good thing that he's trying to get to the bottom of cheating. But I think we have to be careful about, quote, 100% cheating, which I think, honestly, if I'm being real, and I like the guy's channel because I understand that he wants to get rid of cheaters, and that's a good thing. But I think it can damage your reputation, if I was to say to Bad Boy Beaming, when it becomes like it looks like a witch hunt. What I mean by that is, if he'd have just uploaded this video and said there's some evidence here that MuTex could potentially be cheating, here's the pros and the cons, here's the back and forth, what do you think? That would be a more fair video. However, occasionally, for every good video he does kind of go out of his way to maybe make the title a bit more clickbaity, and it becomes a bit of a witch hunt. A witch hunt being, I want this guy gone. And that can kind of discredit the good work that he's done in the past. Because again, he has found cheaters, he has found networks of cheaters and people, and that's great. But sometimes it can become a bit of a witch hunt. And then even if there is some credible information in here, it can be swept under the rug of, oh, it's that guy that just wants to hate and get clout. So I think in future, if I was to give some advice as a bloody newbie YouTuber who's smaller than Bad Boy, I'd say just keep it more fair and honest, and you might find yourself in less hot water. So let's continue. The Cronus Pro is a device that can be used for cheating. We know that that is factual information. Does this mean MuTex is cheating? Does this mean someone like ZLaner is cheating if it's on their computer? Well, no. What this means is he has said that in the past, he is a Call of Duty pro, which he is. He's a high-level Call of Duty ex-pro, and he holds the record for the most kills in solos. So he's a very good player. Or is he a cheater? That's what people are trying to figure out. So what does his background point to? Well, his background points to that he's a very, very good player. You don't get to become a pro player by being crap at the game. So he's obviously got a history of being very, very good at games, and Call of Duty is the main game he plays. It's not like me where I play mostly third-person shooters and then try a couple weeks of COD. All he plays is COD. So the evidence is in his favor at the moment. He's a COD pro, tons of experience, probably going to be very good at the game, so he could get a record like that. But he does have cheating software on his computer, so what does this mean? Well, his explanation is a valid one. The Bluetooth controllers used at LAN events had latency issues. If you plugged it into a Cronus Pro and put it in tournament mode, that got rid of the latency issues. It was in tournament mode, so there could be no cheats installed onto it, and then they could play. A lot of pros did this. So that is no issue there. That is a very, very valid reason to have it. So where the controversy comes into it is he said he was a pro back in the day during the Call of Duty World War II era, and that he hasn't touched the program since. It's just been on his computer. There's a ton of crap on his streaming PC. It's a bit outdated, and he hasn't cleaned his PC in ages, as we can clearly see. So that's a fact in his favor. Clearly, it's not the most cleaned up PC. It's probably a PC with a capture card in. He sits down at his gaming PC, turns on his streaming PC, and presses the stream button. That's all it's used for. It's basically, a streaming PC is basically a large second encoder that doesn't have to run the game, so there's less performance hit. So those are in his favor. Now, the issue that happens is the following. Bad Boy Beaming goes on to say, well, he's obviously using cheats because he's got a Cronus and you've been caught out. Okay, so that's where we're at. We're now at a point where he goes to defend himself. So MuTex goes and defends himself and says, listen, I'm not cheating. It's because of the old Call of Duty Pro stuff, the latency things. We all used one. Everyone can vouch me. Now, when he goes to uninstall the program, he says, well, I've deleted the program. It turns out he didn't. It turns out he hadn't deleted the program. So that was a little bit suspect. Now, here's the flip side of it, because I think it's important to give some proof to the situation. Now, if he's not very computer savvy, which maybe he's not, him deleting the shortcut doesn't delete the program. Anybody that uses a computer a lot knows that uninstalling a program is very different than deleting. He constantly kept saying, is there a way I can restore my cycle bin? I've deleted the program. Anybody with computer knowledge would know when you uninstall a program, it doesn't go into the recycle bin. So there's two strings to this bow. Number one, he could be computer illiterate or less computer savvy, and he might not know the ins and outs of it, which would lead him to be on the air of caution. Well, he's probably not cheating, and he's not going to set up a load of complicated cheats to hide his cheats in front of hundreds of thousands of people, millions a month in terms of viewership, because he'll probably get caught if he's not very tech savvy. If he is tech savvy, well, then he's just caught himself in a web of lies, and when he types in Cronus, it actually appears on his computer, and he's like, oh shit, it's actually here, let me load it. So you can believe what you want to believe. There's two things. He's not tech savvy, and he couldn't uninstall it, and it's probably far-fetched to then believe there's a conspiracy that he's hiding cheats against everyone to such a perfect manner that no one's truly nailed him down with hard evidence. That's what you need to think about. If he's not very tech savvy and he doesn't even know how to uninstall a program or manage his computer, is he now setting up cheats to such a high level that we can't check? Number two, just to say, he's got all of his banking information on his computer, and he even has a picture that says proof of my identity with him holding his identity up. The latter of maybe he's not very tech savvy, I'm leaning towards that, because that's just not smart. So this is it. When he goes to click the program and he loads it up, he's excited. He's excited because he thought he deleted the program and, oh shit, I can't show you if I'm cheating or not because I've uninstalled it. He hadn't. When he loads up the program, he's excited because he says there's nothing in the memory slots, which means, great, I'm not cheating. I haven't installed anything. There's nothing in the memory slots. Great, I'm not cheating. Then he uninstalls the program live on stream. Okay, that's where we're at. Let's rewind this a second. So, number one, there's a thing here, which is the game pack files. Now, the game pack files, from what I've learned, are sort of how you would kind of get the cheats or get the software to run. Now, this, you can see this tree here is open. Now, when he opens the program, this shows that something has been opened previously. This saves it. It's like a memory. Kind of like if you've ever edited your registry. If you were to go back into your registry, the trees would be open. So this leans towards, well, him saying that he's never touched the program could be a bit of a lie because these are previously open. And if he's only used it for tournament mode, you wouldn't need a game pack file because you could just buy the physical device and whack it into tournament mode. So you have to ask yourself, why has he gone into the game pack files at some point? It looks like he's gone into users and he's opened up his desktop. So the theory could be he's installed cheats onto his desktop and he's then put them into the memory slot. The way the device works is it's like a storage device. Once you've put the game pack file into the memory slot and it's been uploaded onto the physical device, let's say this is the physical device, right? You then don't need any memory slots and you can go ahead and unplug the, well, should I say you can go ahead and stop running the program and it's now all stored onto your little device, which you will then plug your controller into. So here's the theory. If he was a cheater, this is the evidence for him cheating. He has the program on his PC. He has previously opened the tree to his desktop. He could have installed the cheats onto the device itself, cleaned out the memory slots, and then never used the program again because all he ever needs to do is plug it in. Right? So you could argue, okay, we've caught him cheating. Right? Because that sounds pretty damning evidence. And that is where Bad Boy Beeman is coming from. However, let's look at it some more. Here's some more damning evidence. When he goes to uninstall, after he's explained himself and he's explained how there's no memory slots and he's never used anything and he's not cheating, he then uninstalls it live on stream. It's a pretty powerful move. It's a pretty good way to prove you're not cheating, to uninstall it, go and play a game, and then destroy people. Now, interestingly, there are some things to note. On the 3rd of the 15th, 2021, Intel Management Engine components were installed. Kovacs FPS Trainer was installed. Game Capture 4K Pro 60 was installed. Discord was installed. And Cronus Pro Max was installed. So this is where it gets a bit complicated. Now, if he was telling the truth and he hadn't touched the program since the World War II Call of Duty Pro days, why are the install dates so recent? That's the question. Now let's debunk that. I myself have set up a brand new computer and I have done multiple installs of programs. If I go to now uninstall a program, you will see that there are programs installed here and the dates remain the same. I have now upgraded my PC to Windows 10. I have done multiple large cumulative updates for Windows 10 and every single file, the install date remains the same. That is correct, right? There's nothing been altered here. I've upgraded to Windows 10 Pro. I've installed huge driver updates. I've uninstalled my drivers countless times. I've done massive Windows updates. I've done everything to this PC from overclocking to installing random games to benchmark, yada yada. but none of the install dates have changed. However, that does not mean that install dates can never change. Install dates can be changed. That is not 100% true. That is not it's not 100% fact that install dates can never be changed, right? There are some instances that they can be changed. They can be changed through the registry, and some updates can cause them to update. So let's continue into this. Now, it is suspicious that the Cronus Pro, the 4K Pro 60, the overclocking software, and the aim trainer were all installed on the same day. If I was being speculative and leaning on the side of he's cheating, I would say, looks like he's gone to his streaming PC and he looks like he's decided he's going to get all of his software. He's going to overclock. He's going to practice his aim with the anti-recoil cheats installed, and he's going to get his capture card working. That's what it looks like. The other thing that airs on the side of him cheating is the following. My mind's just gone blank. Apologies, give me one moment. My mind just went blank there as I started to look at the Counter-Strike logo. Is that the Cronus Pro software hasn't had any updates. The last update was like 2018, and it doesn't automatically update. So the chances of the Cronus Pro having an update is slim. The chances of a Windows update happening to somebody that, quote, doesn't touch his streaming PC and it altering the date is slim. It's not impossible, but it's slim. I certainly don't think he's gone into the registry and edited it. This is a man that has his electoral accounts, his contract, his banking details, his photos, all on his computer. I don't think it's the smartest PC guy in the world. What looks to me is that he did install this, and he also installed a lot of other streaming software on the same day. Now, I'm not saying it's not impossible that was altered through some sort of update, but that's what it looks like. So it kind of sounds like I'm pointing to him cheating. But let's go ahead and kind of let's kind of now help out MuTex in this case. So here we have a video of this IT Pro basically saying what I'm saying. You can't really change an install date. The device could be hidden. This is a true point. So this is the only last point that I will bring up before we get into some video footage, because this is kind of the last stand, I guess. So if he's installed the Cronus cheats onto his device, let's again say this is a device and this has the cheats, the way to prove you're not cheating is to record your controller being plugged into your computer, not going into a Cronus device. Correct. Not going into a Cronus device. And therefore, when people watch you play with a controller, they know you're not using a Cronus and you're not cheating. Now, there is a way to hide this, because basically what you're doing is you're plugging a USB into another end. So what you could do is, where your computers have the header at the front, you could basically, I'm not saying tape, but you could have the Cronus Pro kind of wedged into your computer with its header showing, and then you could plug in a USB cable, what looks like you're plugging it into the front of your computer, but you're actually plugging it into a Cronus Pro that is inside of the computer, and that's how you would hide it. Now, that's not so far-fetched, is it? That's not so far-fetched, really. You would just kind of need a cable to power the Cronus, and then you're making kind of the input of the Cronus the header of your front of your case. You will also notice that these Pros do plug their controllers into the front of the case. But where else are they going to plug it into? They're not necessarily going to plug it into the back. I plug my controller into the front. It's easy. It's ease of use. So yes, he could have installed all of his cheats onto his Cronus. He could have then hid the Cronus inside of his PC, and then plug it into it, and we wouldn't know. Even if the program was uninstalled, not running, we would never know. Okay, so if we go to Twitch TV here, and we go to MuTex, and we look, he's currently live now. I wonder if he is streaming with all of his cameras. He's currently streaming with 5 cameras. This is to debunk the idea that he has walls, that he has cheats. And I'll begin to explain why that's important in a second as we get through this advert to watch MuTex. It might seem like, why am I so invested in this when I'm not a Call of Duty person? Well, I find just things intriguing and I like getting to the bottom of things. And I also don't like when people are unfairly called out. So here we have MuTex playing live with 5 cameras. And this is to debunk this myth. So remember this picture, right? He has 5 cameras covering every angle. So why has MuTex been led to this point that he's got to defend himself in this manner? Well, this is the following situation he's got himself in, right? So what you can do is you can have cheating software where you can be cheating, but the game capture software which is the thing that the people see from the stream, can hide it, because it's kind of like an overlay is the way I understand it, and game capture isn't going to show the overlay. So although the gameplay looks like there's no cheats, on his screen there's a load of cheats. So the reason he has all of the monitors is to showcase that he is not walling. Okay, so when you look at him wherever he is and you say, well, you can see his computer down here, his right monitor there, he's got chat, he's got another monitor, and he's got his main monitor. There is nothing there that is indicating he's cheating. So he's clear, right? Let's continue. The last thing, which is why they're trying to get him, is the following. It's the following, that you can stream your camera and have cheats running. So what I mean by this is, if we were to pan my camera back, you could have on your right-hand monitor the cheats, right? With the overlay of the cheats. On your main monitor, you could have a clean image, right? Of no cheats. And on your left-hand monitor, you could duplicate your main monitor as a preview. You know how you go in OBS and you right-click preview? You then pull out that preview and stick it on your left-hand monitor. Now, when I take a camera and I point it over here and you see my game footage like this, you see my game footage and you see my other monitor, you say to yourself, well, he's clearly not cheating because that's his game, that's his OBS. When actually on my third monitor are the cheats, which is why ZLaner has been controversially called out for constantly looking at his monitor just before he kills people, because people are suspecting that there are cheats on another screen that he is not recording, because you can, again, use software, which isn't difficult to do. It's really not difficult to do. Any old idiot could do it, of having the preview of OBS duplicate your main monitor, but actually the cheats are on your right. That is physically possible. Now, where MuTex is actually disproving this is because, number one, you can't see his head swiveling to a different monitor. If at this point MuTex was cheating and there was another screen with wall hacks or some sort of overlay, you would constantly see him looking to the left, and you would notice on the webcams here that there are no cheats. Right? So you would then go, oh, well, he's looking over here because of the cheats. But because we can see his entire setup, we know there isn't any other extra monitor hidden in the room. We know he's not constantly looking in a weird direction. So he is not walling. He is not cheating with walls or aimbot or anything like that. So MuTex is clear. MuTex is not cheating. The only way MuTex could currently be cheating is the following. And if MuTex really, really cared about it and he wanted to shut everybody up for good, which if I was MuTex, I'd want to shut people up. This is how he would totally disprove himself cheating. The only way he could be left to be cheating is the following, is it in here where this cable is plugged into, he needs to show that it's not plugged into basically a hidden programmed Cronus Max or whatever it's called, a Cronus Pro. I don't know the bloody word. I'm not invested in this. Now, Personally, do I think this man has gone and set a hidden Cronus device inside of his computer and set up 5 cameras? Now, if you want to be conspiracy nut job, it's a brilliant play, isn't it? Show 5 cameras, show your entire setup, but the actual recoil control cheat is built into the computer that it's plugged into. You could ask him, for instance, a simple one, rather than asking him to refilm his entire setup, is to ask him to plug the controller into the back of his computer or plug it into a different USB header, and that would entirely solve the issue. That's what I would personally do to shut everybody up. Now, he might think he doesn't need to do that because he's demonstrated that there's no, how do I word it? That there is recoil on his controller. When he just holds the stick and shoots, there is recoil. Look, I don't believe this dude's cheating. The very last thing that was suspect that he was cheating was that people called out that the last guy to be banned from cheating, wherever he is, I've lost his channel now. The last guy to be banned from cheating used a piece of software that mimicked Spotify. So it looked like when he had his cheats open, he had Spotify open. That was what it looked like. And when you look at Bad Boy Beeman's desktop, when you look at MuTex desktop, he has 3 different images for Spotify and a Spotify app. So the conspiracists were saying this is a cheating program and he's going to manually change the shortcut name and the image to hide it. MuTex showed live on stream that it's simply Spotify. So that denies that entirely. And also, based off his computer, I don't think this guy's editing a thumbnail and changing the shortcut. And then when he double clicks it, it actually loads Spotify and there's some crazy cheats going on. Clearly, I think at this point, MuTex is not cheating. And I think it's pretty much 100% proof other than 100% being caught. So my title will be MuTex 100% not cheating proof. Because the only thing where he could be cheating is if in this USB header right now is a hidden Cronus device. And he could simply debunk that by changing the controller into the different headers. Now, if he changes the different headers and his gameplay goes to shit, well, he's cheating. But I don't believe he is at all. So the last thing is where I think these cheating debunk channels go a bit wrong is obviously for every one legit cheater they find, they do need views on our channel and they can hunt out big streamers. Now, sometimes big streamers are cheating and they do need to be called out. However, I don't think this is the case. Now, you could argue for ZLaner that when in ZLaner's defense, okay, when you go to ZLaner accusations, he films his entire screen. Now, again, it could be that on his other side of his screen, there's another screen with the cheats and we're not seeing it. Or he's got an overlay set up. But again, I'm pretty sure at this point, he's not cheating. He's well and truly covered it. Again, he could have some hacks on his other screen that he's not showing. And here's what I'd say. Here's what I'd say to ZLaner. It's very, very simple to prove someone that you're not cheating, because I imagine it would be very stressful to have somebody constantly accuse you. So you know what I'd do? I'd strap a GoPro to my head. You might think, what? Strap a GoPro to your head. Then when you look left, we'll see that there's no screen there. Change the ports around on your controller. Put a new controller in, which is already done. And if people are still accusing you at that point, well, then you're just going to have to say, listen, Activision, come and look at my account and just prove that I'm not cheating. Because there's only so much you can do to disprove that you're cheating, because the way PCs work, well, you can always theoretically say, oh, this dude's cheating. But from my analysis and the way I've looked at things, I just can't see that these guys are cheating. And the final nail in the coffin for me is the people that are accusing them. I used to think it was a bit of a meme that it was shit players accusing people and that they're trash and they're just angry that someone's good. I used to think, no way, there probably are some people cheating. But when you really look into it, which I have done over this week, There's a lot of shit people accusing, and I'll show you. This guy called Atomic Hacks is a cheater, and he's a proud cheater. He uploads hacking videos, and he has uploaded videos of how to cheat, how streamers cheat, and he's exposed, quote, pro players and players for cheating. And I thought to myself, I'll give this a fair shout. And there was 2 videos in particular that I thought really, really sold it to me that, wow, these people are just super fucking mad. Okay? Here's number 1. And I don't mean any disrespect to Atomics, but I've got to just give my honest opinion. So here is Atomics cheating live in game. And what he's trying to do in this video is he's saying, look, I'm going to play in a manner that makes me look like a GG top streamer. Like, I'm going to push people and it's going to look like I've heard them, or it's going to look like I maybe have some game sense, but really I'm cheating. So his theory is, I'm going to display the game as you would see it. So he's using game capture and we can't see his cheats. But actually, behind this, he has a wall hack and an aimbot on. However, looking at it head on, if he was not to be honest and tell us, which at least he's been honest about it, we wouldn't know he's cheating. However, because he's been honest about it, he's telling us, I'm going to cheat this game, I'm going to play like a streamer, and you won't be able to tell I'm cheating. And here is the result. At first, I began to think, maybe he's onto something. And I'll tell you why. So he goes on to explain that one of the things with the cheats is you can tell when people are in the area, and therefore you can drop in an empty area and get loot. You can also see the loot through walls, meaning you know where the caches, the boxes are, and that is how streamers loot so quickly, so fast, and that's how they get their loadout. I thought to myself, well, that's reasonable. That could be something where how people cheat that I've never considered before. Okay. He then goes to push this building. And he goes to push this building. And he says the following. He says, listen, I have heard these 2 guys when I get to the entrance of the door. But because I have wall hacks on now, he's like, I know there are 2 people in the top left room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play like a pro streamer. I'm going to sprint in here. And you can hear him. So the defense would be, well, I heard them. You can't call me a cheater because I heard them. Right? But he goes in here. He pushes in. And he goes up the building. And he goes and kills them. And he's pretending like he's a pro streamer, meaning we're seeing no cheats, but he actually is. And he goes in, and he goes around and he kills some guys, right? And that's the proof that he says. And I thought to myself, oh well, that's reasonable. I guess if you knew where people are, you could attack it aggressively. And because we can't see the cheats, well, he could be cheating. But the more and more and more you watch, you realize these people are just bad. And I'll tell you why they're just bad. The guy accusing people of cheating is doing the following. Now here, watch this. Let me rewind it. He quickscopes that guy with his aim cheats, right? And he goes around the corner, and what happens here is, note what he's using. He's using an unsilenced sniper, right? And he can see him coming over this wall because he's got cheats. And what happens is he sees the guy and quickscopes him, and he calls the guy a cheater. And he calls him trash. Now, the irony of a hacker calling someone trash isn't lost on me. But let's think about this more deeply. This is somebody with a channel designed to accuse people of hacking. And he's a hacker himself, so you could say it takes one to know one, right? But here's where it gets funny. He's saying he must be cheating and walling like me because how the fuck did he climb over and pre-aim me? Well, here's the thing, mate. You just shot with an unsilenced sniper beforehand and you're running with no loadout. You're loud as fuck. And the dude, when he climbs over the wall and has a look, when he goes around the other side, he had a heartbeat. So he's been picked up on heartbeat, audio and radar. So these people have no game sense and they can't wrap their head around the fact a pro player could legitimately have top game sense and just freak reactions and skill. Now, there are people that do cheat, and there are pro players, I'm sure, that cheat. There are people that have cheated online at CSGO. There are people that cheat at video games at a pro level. It happens. But these people cannot believe anybody is legit. They can't believe anybody is legit. He calls him a rat. He's like, oh, how did this fucking guy find me? He's like, oh, he's got his loadout. Let's see if this build's any good. But the guy had a heartbeat, and the guy saw him on his heartbeat. Now, we also get into this situation where he's having a fight with this guy that he calls a rat. And he's having a fight with this dude that he calls a rat. And funnily enough, what's so odd about this is he says, oh, I feel bad for this guy. He was trying to get his loadout. But you're fucking cheating, mate. You're cheating, so you clearly don't feel bad. And what's amusing about this is he's talking about his hacks and how all these streamers are cheating, and this is why you can cover it up with smart gameplay. And what happens? He's not fucking paying attention. You can tell by the speed that he buys and the speed that he picks up things at that he's shit at the game, and he dies to gas. The guy dies to gas. A legit cheater that is telling people he's cheating dies to gas. And he goes on to play the game, calling people rats and calling people out. And this is somebody that has cheats, right? And his accusation is kind of like, oh, they know where everybody is because they're cheating and they never get caught out. But this is a guy with cheats. This is a guy with cheats, mate, getting caught out. Let me find it. Where is it? He's running along this open field and he's so focused on aimbotting somebody down that even though he's got walls on and even though he's got, you know, aimbot and all of this stuff on, even him, he can't see the guy to the right of him and he gets caught. So this notion that, oh, if you're seeing everybody, you must have cheats. Well, clearly that ain't true, mate, because you've got cheats and can see everybody and you still get caught out. So maybe they're just better players. Lastly, more amusingly, is this guy. And this was where I really came to the conclusion that these people... I sort of felt bad for the guy because I sort of thought, oh, you know, the way he was explaining it was, I just cheat because I think you should have... in the video game, you've purchased the product, you should be able to do what you want. I don't sweat for wins. I use snipe. And I was thinking, you're kind of delusional. You're cheating, bro. You're aim hacking. You're ruining the game. But he seems an honest, humble, kind of humble dude. And I thought, okay, whatever. As I watched a full video of him, the guy's a dick. The guy's a dick, calling people rats, calling people shit, calling other people out for cheating. And the reality is, mate, even with cheats, you lose. How can you lose with cheats, mate? If you can see where everybody is, your game sense must be fucking terrible. Your skill level must be terrible. You can tell with the way they switch weapons, their movement, how quick they buy in the menu, just general movement, right? And these are the people that have the channels dedicated to calling people out for cheating. I understand that occasionally there's going to be some people that cheat. But when somebody has a vengeance against somebody and they're this bad, this is where credibility goes out of the window. So when people are citing Atomic Hacks as a credible source to prove that MuTex is cheating, it doesn't make any sense because look at what he's doing. This guy is cheating live. He's headshotting everybody with an AUG. No ghost. He hasn't got ghost on. He's not got like a dead silence perk in Warzone, has he? He's on a radar shooting. He's an unsilenced gun cracking everybody. And he thinks that this dude that fucking kills him and he loses a game whilst hacking, he calls him a rat bastard cheater. But look at what's happened. Number one, he's in the circle in a good position. Number two, he has a thermal scope to spot you early. Number three, he could have had a heartbeat or something we don't know of. It looks like he has claymores or whatever, so he doesn't have that. But he's seeing you on a fucking radar shooting an unsilenced AUG. And look, he calls him a hacker. He says, oh, he's aim hacking. Watch this. He calmly peers over to the right. His aim doesn't snap on him. He misses him. Then he begins to beam him. He's out in the open field in a thermal scope by a guy just scanning the area because the gas is coming. So he's making sure no last remainers are coming, and he kills you. So if he thinks this guy is hacking, well, then he's obviously going to think somebody like MuTex, which is shitting on people, is hacking. So that's where I think the credibility goes out the window. Lastly, just to shut down the big key point of this video, the big key point of Hoppin' Dude's video is that he is a network analyzer. He's involved in IT for 13 years. And this is the big point, right? He spectates a guy. Sorry, he watches a video. And the premise of the video is this aim hacking, wall hacking cheater has got in a game with TTFUE. TTFUE has got, for a meme, the name Tim the Tapman. This is actually TTFUE. So he's got in a game with TTFUE, and he has aim hacked on, so he can see their skeletal mesh. Now, what we know about video games, and it doesn't take a 13-year tech analyst to figure this out, and no disrespect to this guy's video, I thought it was a good video. I even said, thought it was a good video. I have some questions myself, but the skeletal mesh is what the server sees and is correct. So the server is seeing the things that can be hit. That can't be changed. The server sees what the server sees. And the server is seeing bullets land from TTFUE that are not on the skeletal mesh of the character. And it looks fucked because from his point of view, he has the silent aim. Silent aim is the thing where it doesn't need to be on them to hit them. And he's calling him out for that. And it sounds convincing. He tracks him through this door. He keeps landing shots even though his crosshair isn't on the skeletal mesh. And therefore, he is using silent aim. And he says there's no way that can be altered. But there is. And I'll tell you why that is. I spoke with a developer of a AAA franchise game who worked on netcodes and all of this stuff. And he said the following, that like in PUBG, like in Call of Duty, like in other games, there is spectator lag. The spectator gets sent a different thing. Just because we're seeing that, that doesn't mean that's what the server is seeing. The server can be seeing something different to what the replay is showing. It can be client side, it can be yada yada. And there is also spectator lag. It is a thing. There is spectator lag in the game. So spectator lag is basically the following, and I'm going to prove it now. It looks like from this clip here, if we play this in its full speed, he goes ahead and he tracks the guy through the window, and his shots aren't registering. And that's the conclusive proof. Because the server sees what the server sees, even though that isn't always true. I've literally had people that develop AAA games for a living tell me that. So the server can be seeing something, but the spectate can be seeing something different. How do we know this? When you look into the gas, it can be very thin for me, and I can see people through the gas. When they spectate me, the gas can be very thick. I can shoot somebody that's in a different place on my screen. They can spectate that, that's in a different place, and the server can see something different. Just look. This is the actual clip of him doing it, which nobody seems to be pointing out. This is the clip of, quote, TTFUE cheating. He lands his shots. There's no silent aim there. Look, how does he know he's there? Does he have walls? He sees a bullet tracer. He sees a bullet tracer, so he knows where he is. Now, it's kind of hard to see throughout the foliage and stream quality, so he has a go. He begins to beam kind of where the guy is, which is kind of why he's snaking his aimer to get that first piece of movement, to get that first hit marker. Once he's got the first hit marker, the only place the dude is going is in the door. He's a pro player. He's not going to run the long way round, so he's only going to go in the door. Now, the chances are TTFUE's played so much of the game, he knows what the inside of that door looks like. Is there a stair up ways? Is there a door to the right he can dive in? Is it just a long corridor? So he tracks him. And then he cracks him. And then he kind of guesses where he might be going and misses a load of bullets. Now, if he was cheating and he really wanted to look like a god, he'd just finish him off, wouldn't he? He'd just finish him off. Now, the cheat guy says, oh, well, the reason he didn't do that is because he knows I'm spectating him. He knows there's one spectator, but in that heated moment, he's probably not looking up there. And number two, he doesn't know that a guy with walls is spectating him, right? He then says the following. He says, how does he know where this guy is? He doesn't. He's looking. You see? Can't see him. Has another look, sees him crossing. This is where he sees him. Now, he peeks because his friend goes down. Friend has a call out. Can he see anything? Has a bit of a pre-fire. Now, there is a guy behind there. And the aim hacker says, well, there's a guy behind there. He realizes he can't finish him because there's a wall. And therefore, to not be exposed, he stops shooting. No, this is where the people that have no game sense don't know what they're talking about. Why does he stop shooting? Is it because he doesn't want to be revealed that he's cheating? Or, hello, is it the following? The fucking gas is coming in, mate. The gas is coming in and his mate's down. He doesn't have time to kill the guy. There's also a corner that's going to cut off the angle. So if the guy goes to shoot back at him, he's not going to have the angle. He's going to have to run around the wall inside of the gas. He probably is not going to do that because he's just been shot at by his friend. So TTFUE books it and has a run. He now remembers that there's a guy to his right and he begins to beam him down. He misses shots, then he connects. He's not fucking cheating, mate. There's no way he's cheating. So when you watch this guy, what he begins to go on to explain, again, which is so funny, is the following. And this is how I knew the guy was a shit player. There was this clip here, right? Let me find it because it is worth the wait, guys, I promise you. He's watching this guy and he's talking about TTFUE. And he says the following. He's really angry. So number one, you can tell he's probably salty because he's angry in his analysis. He's not trying to be fair and balanced between the two viewpoints. He's just been salty and angry. He says the following. Why is this guy looking over here? It's probably because he can see everyone. No, his mate's over there. And when you're flying, you often look around everywhere just to get a look for the landscape and see what's going on. Don't mean you're cheating, mate. It's barbaric. He says, oh, he's cheating here because he can see this guy. Well, no, he's on the radar previously. He pulls up and he begins to have some shots at him. Now he ducks down because there's obviously a guy to the right. So he knows there's a guy pushing him to the right. So he has a pre-aim, downs him. Now he gets shot. You can see here, he's getting shot from the right and he knows the guy's coming. So he tries to play it up. He tries to get himself in a nice position to pop up and pre-aim whilst having head glitch cover. So he pops up, then realizes he's been shot from the right, goes prone, and gets downed. And that's evidence apparently that he's cheating. No, it's just decent playing game sense. This next one, he says, well, he must be cheating because of the following. He says there's a guy jumping off this building and how can he possibly know which corner he's going to come off? Why is he pre-aiming this? The Symfuhny guy must be cheating. Well, think about it, mate. Look at the radar. This corner roof is going to be cut off. So he's not going to jump off this roof down here into the gas, is he? He's obviously going to be trying to jump away from the gas, and with this corner being covered, he's going to be appearing here. So he looks there. And he kills him. He says, well, he kills him way too quickly. He kills him in 4 bullets when it takes 8 bullets or something with that gun. Why? Because he cracks him in 2. So he's probably only got 1 plate on because he's probably been in a gunfight before and he's low and that's why he goes down. That's not evidence that he's cheating. It's absolutely barbaric. This is the last piece of evidence apparently that TTFUE is cheating. And this is how I knew that there are valid cheats in the game, and there are pros that cheat, and there are valid accusations. This is not one of them. And I'll tell you, because he says this, oh, this TTFUE pretending he's Tim the Tap Man, he knows he's been spectated, therefore he's no longer cheating. He's playing it dumb. He's got enough money to buy himself back, so he's intentionally let himself die. That's what he keeps saying, right? He says the following, which was the final nail in the coffin for me. He says, he knows there's a guy on the left here. He can see him. And therefore, to hide that he's cheating, he lets himself get downed. No, mate. A normal player running head on that's focused on a guy because he's probably got a call in his game saying, enemy coming in, whatever the fuck it says, right? So he has a look, and he's also looking head on, right? Because that's where he's progressing. He's not going to see this tiny dot. He's not ignoring it to show that he's not hacking. He just doesn't fucking see the guy. The only reason you think he should see the guy is because you have fucking cheats and you are the cheater. These people are the guys that cheat and are trying to accuse other people when, let's just face the reality, mate. You are the one that is cheating. You are the cheater. You are the guy that's in the game ruining it for fucking everybody. You are the guy snapping to people. You are the guy tracking people through walls. Not this clip here. He's like, oh yeah, he sees the guy. You look at his mouse movements. He says, you can see the guy over here. No, he can't fucking see the guy. The only reason you can see him, mate, is because you've got a big cheating fucking box around it saying that he's cheating. He says, look, he even looks at him again. No, you can't see him. Look, it's like a pixel. If you remove this box and this name, it's like a pixel. You ain't noticing that. He's like, why is he looking at this dude? Oh yeah, this is the hilarious one. This is the hilarious one. He calls TTFUE out for cheating for a quote snap. Now look at this. This is the snap. Wow, look at that snap. He says, cheating. Now watch it back, mate, through an actual sensible person's eyes. Here's what happens. He hears a call out that someone's landing. He gets the center of his screen. He has a look right. He has a look left. Anyone coming in? There he is. Spots him. He gets the center of his screen, which is called good centering. Any third person player knows it. He gets the center of the screen roughly to where the guy is. So when you scope in, it's going to be near him. He adjusts too far to the left. He knows the guy's parachuting in. So he falls. So he pulls down and he lets the parachute guy fall into his crosshair. And note, he isn't shooting at him, so he's not even trying to be totally accurate, but he just has a look. Yep, there's a guy there. He's not snapped to him. There are multiple adjustments that happen. The last thing as well is they come up with these crazy theories such as this. So this is the theory that he has here. And I know this has gone away from Bad Boy Beaming, but I've got to talk on this. He says, no way can he see the dude. He's fucking cheating. Well, no, he can't, but he probably has a rough idea someone's there because he's been shot at. So he goes to the only place he probably knows and he starts to begin to spam and he gets cracked down. And this is what the crazy things people say is, he knows he's cheating. How do you think he knows he's cheating, guys? He knows he's cheating. Wait for it, because he looks at the wall. That's right. This guy says TTFUE is definitely cheating because no person would ever look at the wall whilst getting revived. What? I can tell you for damn sure this is what happens. He gets downed and he knows he's across the road. He crawls to get himself away from the window to put himself in less danger. He looks left to his teammate. Right, my teammate is coming. I am being revived. I don't need to look in that direction anymore. I'm going to look here. Why does he look there? Because he can see the window. If somebody was pushing him or about to push him, he could call, he's climbing through the window. There's a guy, cancel the revive. He looks. Think we're safe. And what we all do in a video game, let's be honest, is we look at the character model, don't we? We go, oh, he's reviving me. Is that what skin you're wearing? Is that what character model? And he's up in a split second. And apparently, that's the reason he's cheating. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, there are valid cheats in the game. There are valid criticisms of cheats in the game. There are some accusations that could be labelled at MuTex, but let's be honest, probably not cheating. 99, 100% not cheating. These people that call people out for cheating most of the time are salty fucks. Let's be honest. They're not rational. I've tried to give 2 and 4 points. I hope you can see that. I've tried to give fair and rational points. These points aren't rational. Here's another point. He says the following. You see TTFUE running up. Now, why would TTFUE push this guy and get downed intentionally? Oh, it's because he's got 2 spectators and he doesn't want to be caught out cheating. No, they have a guy with the gas coming in. So the gas is coming in and they want to go to the buy station. It's why now he looks over at the buy station. Now, the accusation from the quote atomic hack debunker is, well, he sees the guy in the window. So if he sees the guy in the window, the only reason he wouldn't shoot the guy is because, frankly, he doesn't want to reveal that he's cheating too badly. No, mate, he can't see the guy in the fucking window because he ain't cheating, which is why when he pushes up and gets his heartbeat out to see, is there anybody there, he gets beamed at. Now he knows there's a guy in front of him, so he gets cover in front of the ATV. He snakes, which is what good players do. He kind of snakes and kills him. And then they go to the buy station. These people don't have game sense. Look, I have played 2 weeks of Call of Duty in my lifetime. I've played 2 weeks of Warzone, and it was filled with cheaters. But it was filled with people doing legit walls, legit aim hacking, obvious shit. And I'm sure there's obvious silent aimers as well. There's tons and tons of cheaters. I've documented it. But a lot of this calling out of pro players to cheat does scream of clout chasing, which is a shame. It's a real shame because it's a valid thing to do to get people to stop cheating and to call them out and to raise awareness. Now, I'm not saying Bad Boy Beaming does it all the time, but there is actual footage of Bad Boy Beaming editing clips, meaning to make something look snappier, they've cut out frames, and it's been proved that there's been frames cut out. And I think that for each good video that people maybe like Atomic Hacks or maybe Beaming does or whoever does on the cheating, they spoil it by being they fail to be impartial. So I know I've taken an hours of your time. I'm not involved in the community in any way, but I hope for this hour I've been truly impartial and you can make your mind up. And I think I can say with relative confidence that these people aren't cheating. And I think I can say with relative confidence that a lot of these people calling people out are clout chasing and are angry. I don't think Bad Boy Beaming is clout chasing, and I don't think he's angry. I think people like Atomic Hacks are angry because clearly when you're dying to gas, when you're losing and you're cheating and you're spotting people, you're bad, and you're beginning to question, well, if I can see him, why isn't that pro? He must be doing some big conspiracy. It ain't a conspiracy, mate. So that's the video. I don't know why I got myself involved in this, but I wanted to speak on it in a fair and even way because I don't like injustice. I've been on the receiving end of injustice before, and I don't like people having their career called out when it's not valid. Look, there's some valid criticism in there, mate, but you can't put 100% cheating and potentially throw a load of hate towards somebody if it's not 100%. So I'm 99.9% sure that he's not cheating, and that was my analysis of the situation.